I uploaded a video on this topic, but I deleted it, and now I'm remaking it because I didn't like how that video turned out. Felt like I was getting way off topic and just talked about something completely unrelated, but I will stay on topic this time around. So I'm a little late to the party, but as everyone knows, PlayStation wants to kill off physical games in 2028. Now, this sparked a lot of controversy because obviously people love physical games. I mean, it's literally part of gaming culture. Whether it was midnight releases, window shopping with your dad at GameStop, looking at games that you can't afford, buying a game and driving home excited, waiting to rip the plastic off and insert the disc into the console. It's great fun. But one important thing that comes up a lot with this topic is ownership. Now, I understand the argument of, discs nowadays aren't really like the full game. It's just a key to just get the digital version that'll just require the disc to start, like a key to a car. But the thing is, when you have a physical game and it gets delisted, you can still insert the disc and play that game. Now, with most digital games, it's also like that. Like, for example, I have Spec Ops The Line on my Steam library still, even though they delisted it. And I think for console players, for games like Fall of Cybertron, for example, that were on PS4 and Xbox One but got delisted, you can still play them on your consoles if you've got those versions before they got delisted. And they're even playable on Series X and PS5 as well. Another example I can give you is that the OG Yakuza 3 Remastered is delisted on everywhere because Kiwami 3 came out. But if you're on console and you have the remastered collection for Xbox, which costs a fuck ton, or you have the PS4 disc, you can still play the OG Yakuza 3 just fine. Compare this to something like The Crew, for example, that not only got delisted, but also got removed from people's libraries. So, say what you want about The Crew. I don't care how you feel about The Crew, whether you think it's a bad game, good game, whatever, but it just highlights why a digital future is just terrible. It's the idea that at any moment the developers can tell you to go fuck yourself and remove the games from your library is just fucked up. Pair that with the fact that people are saying, oh, but we got piracy though. Yeah, newsflash, piracy isn't really gonna help either. Why do I say this? Well, games back then had anti-piracy measures, right? Like Serious Sam 3 with the immortal spider or a scorpion, whatever the fuck that thing was. Arkham Knight with the cape just not functioning. I think Crisis also had one where your gun just didn't work or something like that. I can't really remember. And my point with that is that if these older games had anti-piracy measures, right? What is stopping developers from, with the technology they have today, what is stopping them from making anti-piracy measures that are way worse in this digital-only future? So you truly don't own anything. Like, piracy will literally not even be an option anymore. I think it's even dumber that it's Sony of all people doing this, because one of the reasons that people lean towards the PS5 more than the Series X is because of the fact that it is so fucking easy to walk into any retail store and find PS5 games. Like, legit, just walk into a Target or a Walmart or especially a GameStop. Especially GameStop. Like, you walk into that bitch and they literally have a huge row of PS4 and 5 games as compared to the Xbox games that are just like in this sad little corner of the store half the time. I think it also hurts to me as well because I like PlayStation, despite my other videos where I talk about, how much I like Xbox. Well, at least the consoles themselves, not the company, right? I still lean towards PlayStation a little more because I'm just super nostalgic for it. And the closest thing that I have to a favorite console of all time, bit of a hot take, is the PS3. I love the PS3. I have a lot of great memories on it. I've discovered a lot of games because of it. Like I will never forget 7-year-old me discovering God of War 3 because of my cousin. Or I remember when he bought the the Uncharted 1 and 2 double pack. I remember spending a lot of time playing Black Ops 1 and 2 Zombies on the PS3 as well. I played my first ever FPS on that, which was the horrible, horrible port of Crisis 2 on that thing. That was fucking rough. The PS3 was also the first time that I heard about stuff like Assassin's Creed. Basically, the PS3 was just my introduction to a world of gaming that wasn't Nintendo, because when you're younger, you have Nintendo all over the house, because playing something like God of War, where you're like ripping people's heads off as a child, is something that your parents don't want. And I also had a PS4, and I absolutely loved the PS4 as well. I mean, Sony at that time wasn't perfect either, because sure, the PS4 was a good console and all, but there were stupid decisions they were making, like completely blocking out crossplay and whatnot at the time. I think what makes this whole thing ironic as well is the fact that they were mocking Xbox at the time for having, that DRM where you couldn't play used games and whatnot, and having an online check-in or whatever the fuck that was, just for them to now turn around and try to kill physical games along with having that check-in that they mocked Xbox for, by the way. This also hurts because I am a huge advocate for physical media. I mean, I own albums. I have CDs of albums that I like. I have 360 games, a handful of OG Xbox games. I own a lot of PS3 games, and right now I'm starting to collect for the PS4 once again because of all the reasons that I mentioned. Like just being able to buy the physical copy of a game that got delisted and playing it, whatever, all that, along with the fact that at times, no, not even at times, just every single time, physical copies of games, right, depending on their age, will be cheaper than the digital version. Like, for example, right now, Black Ops 2, just Black Ops 2 on Steam is like $40. I think it's the same thing for the PS5 port and on the Series X as well. It's like $40. But for $40, right, I went on eBay, not even $40, it was $36. I bought Black Ops 1 and 2 together for $36, with the disc being in basically brand new condition and both games having the manual too. Like both games are brand new, and I got both physically for $36. $36, the price of one digitally. Same thing with Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 digitally on all platforms is still $60 for some reason. But if you're on console, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation, you can find a physical copy for like $15, I think, or some shit like that. So now if the PlayStation 6 is all digital, right, and assuming they don't backtrack on this decision, despite the lawsuits, despite all the backlashing and boycotting people are doing, you're going to be forced to pay like full price for games like Dark Souls 3 that are still $60 after 10 years that it's been released. Pair that up with the regional pricing and whatnot, so then you're going to be paying more for a game that someone else has cheaper just because you use the PlayStation more than the other person, which is fucking stupid. It is ridiculous. And I think what's even more ridiculous is the people eating this shit up, man. Oh, but PC is digital only. Oh, but I haven't bought a game physically since like 2019. Yeah, well, this isn't about you. And the difference is that Steam, like the likelihood of a Steam game being removed from your library is whatever. I mean, look at PlayStation, what they did with those 500 movies, right? And another thing is, you might be sitting here wondering, well, you brought up The Crew and how that was removed from everyone's libraries, right? Surely that included Steam. Yes, but that wasn't Steam's fault. That was just Ubisoft being assholes, because it's Ubisoft. And I don't know if it's like this on console, but for delisted games on Steam, if you have, or if you buy a Steam key on G2A, which usually they're expensive, I use the Cybertron games as an example. If you put a Steam key for a Cybertron game, it'll still work, and you can download the game. It's basically like the PC version of having a physical copy of a game that got delisted, essentially. Except the problem is that unlike a physical copy, it's fucking expensive. I mean, then again, the Cybertron games for PS3 and 360 are still like 60, 70 bucks, so yeah, there's that, I guess. But yeah, more of the story is that, like everyone has been parroting for some time now, my opinion on the matter is just a popular opinion. Ooh, yeah, you will own nothing and be happy. Yeah, that's pretty much the takeaway from this. And the fact that we're being pushed towards a soulless corporate digital only era is just so fucking pathetic and sad. It's like a huge part of gaming culture is just being stripped away from us by fucking PlayStation of all things, which is crazy to think, like I said, that PlayStation of all people are doing this. But yeah, I got nothing else to say on the matter, so I guess that's it for now.